Shabbat Shalom. I'm sorry first of all for the late hour and that we was not able to do a regular shiur. But first of all, the reason for that is that I'm on a very special occasion, that it's happening once in many years. But of course, to skip something so important, it's not a good idea. So that's why, of course, we will do something. We will learn something together. And even though it's not maybe real life together, I hope to send it. And every person that is able to learn it before Shabbat will be very nice. And of course, we'll talk about the regular Parashat Ekav. We're learning the story of Moshe Rabbeinu, really speaking to the Jewish people. But first of all, what is the special occasion? I am now not in a regular place. I am in Kazakhstan, in Almaty. And in Almaty, there is the grave of the father of the Rebbe. The father of the Rebbe was Rabbi Levi Yitzchak Schneerson, the chief rabbi of the city of the Dnipro in the Ukraine, that it was called in that time Yekaterinoslav, and then the Dnipropetrovsk. The father of the Rebbe was the rabbi of the city in a very special and very hard time. He was the rabbi of the city in a times that the government did not let any Jew observe and do whatever he wanted to do. He started being a rabbi in 1909, and he was a rabbi for 30 years, very hard times. And he was very, very special in his way of keeping everything that he could and letting everyone participate in all Jewish activities in very strong, very hard conditions. From the other side, he was a very unique and special scholar in Torah. He was a rabbi of Kabbalah, and he had very, very, very new, very big, and a very big amount of new ideas and new Torah ideas in Kabbalah itself. So he was combining two sides of Jewish nation, the deep sides of learning Torah and the connection of Judaism to every Jew. And today, this is their passing. And what is the occasion again? The occasion is that he passed away in a bad way, we can say, before his time, in a special place that he was there because he was exiled as a punishment from the government to the city of Almaty in Kazakhstan. He was here for a few months after he was exiled in Shiali in Kazakhstan, and he was buried here, and I was today in his grave in his passing day, and it's unbelievable. Such a big scholar, such a big Jewish rabbi and important person is buried in a place that there is no Jews around. Not only there is no Jews, there are non-Jews, and there are crosses, and very bad place to a rabbi and to every Jew to be buried. And this is the special occasion, and of course it's connected to our parasha. Our parasha is Parashat Ekav. What is Ekav? We know the name Yaakov, our father Yaakov. Why our father was named Yaakov? Our father was named Yaakov because he was in the birth. He was holding his brother's, I don't know how to call it, the end of the foot, of the feet, the place behind here in the feet. We know this place is the lowest place in the body. It's a very important place because the body is standing on this spot, but there is no living there. I mean, there is, of course, but not much as the other parts of the body. And this is one explanation what is Ekav. But of course the literal explanation. והיה עקב תשמעון אל מצוותיי. Moshe telling the Jewish people, part of his speech is starting, and because you will keep my Torah and mitzvot, you will get, and your reward will be so on and so forth. And this is our old Parashat. Of course, there is very special ideas in our Parashat, but I will talk about this point. So Moshe using this word Ekav, because Ekav is also in Hebrew because. It's two explanations, and we will learn, and there is more. The literal explanation is because that you will keep my Torah mitzvot, you will get everything that there is in our Parashat. But of course the question is, why using this unique word only here? As I said, Ekav have many explanations, and the literal explanation is because. But as I said, also the word Ekav as Yaakov, the end of the feet. Also, Ekav means the end. The end in general. So Moshe Rabbeinu talking to the Jewish people, telling them, there is things that we feel that they are not so important. There is things that we feel that they are in the end. They are low. They are not so important as the big things that we're using our hand or we're using our mind to use them or to work with them. There's things that we standing on them. Those called in Hebrew mitzvot she'adam dash be'akavav. Laws that a person standing on them with his foot. And the Torah telling us that everything is important. Everything is the same in matter of importance. Because everything have both sides. Everything is connected to God Himself, and everything is connected to our daily lives. As the foot, even though it's the end of the body, it's the place with the lowest feeling of life, it's also the thing, the organ that all the body stands on. You know, I was once broke my leg, and the doctor told me that the healing of the leg, some parts of the leg, is taking many months, even for a young guy, because this is a place that all the body stands on. It cannot be weak. It must be the strongest part. And all the mitzvot have those both sides. All mitzvah is something that we can connect, something that we can feel something about it, we can learn from it, we can inspire from it. But also all the body standing on everything, because everything is the will of God. And the will of God is the same as we will put tefillin, and the same that we will give tzedakah, the same one that we will keep Shabbat or Kashrut. Everything is the same. So, this is one explanation of Ekav. The Torah hints us that even things, small things, are important as the biggest. Another explanation about Ekav, it's the end. The Torah talking about the end of time. The Torah telling us when you will keep everything in the end of time, you will get very, very big blessings. Why the Torah talking especially about the end of times, and when are the end of times? Of course, the end of time is now, because now is the time that we are ready and we are close and we are there in the end of times, in the time of the redemption. Mashiach can come in any minute. But why? What's so special about our times? To be a Jew once, in the time of even Rabbi Levi Yitzchak, it meant that you're fighting many times, fighting with nature. To be a Jew means that the world is not Jewish. The world is not approved of your Judaism. Even if it's approved, you are the lowest, you are the smallest. And this means to be Jew, to be small, to be not important, to be killed, to be suffered. This is not our generation, of course. This is in the last 1900 years. In our generation, to be Jew not means to be small, not means to be depressed. It means to be a Jew. This is very special time. This is the end of time. From one hand, it seems the simplest time. Just be a Jew, just observe, just do whatever you want. From the other side, to be Jew now, it's very, very hard. To be Jew now means that you are against everything that the world stands for. The world stands for freedom, and the world not necessarily understand what it means, freedom. It means to stand on your ideology. It means to be not normal. So Torah tells us in the end of time, when you will be Jew in the end of time, it will be very, very special, and then it will give you the biggest blessings. Because to be Jew in the end of times mean not to die as a Jew. It means to live as a Jew. We don't need to die to observe Judaism. We need to live as Jewish people. We need to connect Judaism to our daily lives. And this is very special. This is thing that all the other generation was not there. And they were not able to be there because it's another way of being connected to God. You know, when you're dying as a Jew, it means that one time you died. God forbid, of course. We don't want to be there. But when we're talking about live as a Jew, it means that every day we feel in the connection with God in a very special and deep way. And this is a special power that we have. And the Torah telling us that very special blessings are connected to this period of time, and this is the preparation to the Geula, to the redemption. Everything is connected to the time that we are in. As I said, we are in the day of passing of Rabbi Levi Yitzchak, the father of the Rebbe. Father of the Rebbe was a very big scholar in the Kabbalah. As I said, it's the deepest secret of Torah. But there is many stories about him that you would think that he was a total other person. One year in Pesach, he wanted to have matzot. Of course, it was communist time, and he went to all the factories in his city, the city of Yekaterinoslav or the Dnipropetrovsk, and he asked them to make matzah. And they didn't let him. It was an insult for the communist workers to make matzah for a small amount of Jews. And he didn't succeed. So he decided he would go to Moscow. He went to Moscow and he convinced some ministers, and then in the end, even he spoke to the prime minister. And he convinced them to approve to make matzah. It was a special act of giving every Jew the opportunity to observe Pesach. He was not a scholar that disconnected to a Jewish life. Once in 11 o'clock in the night, knock on the door of Rabbi Levi Yitzchak's house. He opens the door. There is a Jew there that telling him that he want to get married right now. He want to get married, a Jewish marriage. He want to be married as a Jew. To be married in 2 hours, it's very hard, halachically. We need to check, you're 100% Jew. We need to check, is everything okay with your wife? As he did the right preparations? Many things. Levi Yitzchak did not thought twice. He arranged everything. He called few people that he will have minyan, and he arranged a chuppah in his house in the time of dangerous time. And the story not ended there. He wanted to have minyan, and he looking for the person that will be able to be the 10th. And he seeing the KGB guy, he was a Jew, that looking, and he took them in as the 10th. As I said this story before, it's unbelievable connection of dedication of every Jew, dedication of Jewish practice, Jewish life, living as a Jew, and connection to being a halachic scholar in an amazing way, and giving it life for it. So this is what we're celebrating today, and I hope this idea will be accepted in our minds, that the strongest feeling of Judaism need to be expressed in lives, in daily lives, and in a way that every Jew is connected to it. We cannot see the opportunity finding a Jew, and we cannot miss the opportunity to remind him that he is also a Jew, and he also have his own special connection with God. We cannot think, who am I to give him? I am not his teacher, I am not his friend, I am not his rabbi, of course. It's not true. If I met him, it means that I have a responsibility and I have the ability to find a way to do it, of course, in a good way, in a nice way, in a kind way, with a smile, to remind him that every Jew have a connection, and a special connection with God, and he can connect both things. So Shabbat Shalom and L'chaim L'chaim. It's a very special time. I'm sorry that we're not able to do live our meeting. I hope we will see each other many times in a good way, in a happy way, in a healthy way. Shabbat Shalom.